That video that you just saw was the earliest known Elsagate theme video on YouTube, and even the internet for that matter. And although the true horrors and impacts of this dark event in internet history have been heavily documented upon, the founders, creators, and origins of this dark era in the internet haven't really been discussed. And that's what we're here to look into today, as we take a deep dive into the disturbing origins of Elsagate. I think we all remember the era of 2017, arguably the heyday year of internet culture for the 2010s, a time post following the killer clown epidemic of 2016, but an era just before the more serious times of 2018, such as at the beginning of the year when online influencer Logan Paul was thrown into a shitstorm of controversy for documenting the self-ending of an individual at Japan's iconic Akira Sleep Forest. And as mentioned, in between both of these eras in internet history was 2017, a year that would prove to be a truly wild and unforgettable time, from the notably cancerous toy known as the fidget spinner to the wildly unpredictable and crazy time in political history that 2017 all had in store for us. But around this year, a massive scandal was slowly starting to unravel, where it was discovered that a lot of disturbing, disgusting, and dangerous YouTube videos were infesting the website, and were following the truly disturbingness of these online YouTube videos all throughout 2017. It would be reported that all across the internet on how twisted and messed up these disturbing videos were. However, even before the Elsagate scandal was fully exposed in 2017, 1 year before in 2016, a mass of popular YouTubers were starting to expose this disturbing genre on YouTube that, interestingly enough, for the time, looking at the titles and commentaries of these YouTubers, no one knew what to call these phenomenon of videos. But in 2017, the term Elsagate was finally used on Twitter to expose this extremely dark and disturbing seemingly kids-based content on YouTube. However, when this whole uprising against the now termed Elsagate scandal was occurring, it would be discovered that not just the main YouTube website was infested with this disturbing kids content, but even worse, the supposed junior version of YouTube Kids, where it was discovered from the online community on how deep and disturbingly rooted these Elsagate videos and channels were, all on YouTube Kids. But around this time, when the Elsagate scandal was in the full swing of it, come 2017, to get a true idea on how far back the whole Elsagate scandal goes, we need to go back to the years ago, more specifically 10 years ago, before the Elsagate scandal was even named, to the year 2007, when the disturbingly odd but pivotal channel known as Lee Ho Shook was created on the day of March 17th of 2007. So what is the story behind this odd but notable channel, and how is it connected to Elsagate for that matter? Well, our first clue we should take a look into is the channel's small but unique catalog of videos, and from the very first video on the Lee Ho Shook channel, I feel as ultimately tells a lot, with the thumbnail being of two little girls dancing, having fun, and singing the culturally iconic Three Little Monkeys song. But from the description of the video tells us a lot more about the story behind this video. Well, sorta. Being uploaded on April 10th of 2007, with the description telling us simply as quote-unquote kids having fun with this song, really would only say that this video is a homemade production of the Three Little Monkeys song, and probably the first one on YouTube at that. But interestingly enough, on February 28th of 2019, as a way to further fight against anything Elsagate related, YouTube would disable all comments on videos featuring any and every kids that might be in it. So it's very debatable on what possible comments were on the over 1,000 viewed video, and interestingly enough, this disabling of comments would be all throughout the Lee Ho Shook channel, with a Try YouTube Kids insignia at all the bottoms of these videos, basically saying that even as late as 2007, when this channel was active, was meant for kids. However, out of all these videos, the one that has made the most uproar and iconicity is the Finger Family Rhymes video, the one that I showed at the beginning of this video, with from the first video we saw on this channel has a small description that reads quote-unquote, kids can study about family with song, as well as mentioned obvious aim towards kids in the Try YouTube Kids recommendation. So from Wiki to Reddit forums, A lot of people associate this song with being not just the first Finger Family video on YouTube, but the first Elsagate video on the internet for that matter, due to the overstimulating, loud, and eerie actions that are played in this video, with some even saying that this video is a form of mind control due to the almost euphoric and memorizing feeling you get while watching the video. This is obviously up for debate, but I think it's clear to say that the Lee Who Shook channel is definitely the first Elsagate channel under the name, just for the odd, disturbing, and downright creepy ways they used to draw on their presumably young audience, which would in turn be used as a foundation for the Elsagate we know today. Moving forward over 2 years later to the year 2009, when this year in particular being a pretty iconic year in world history at that, and within this year, a certain deal between two iconic juggernauts in the entertainment industry would occur, being Disney and Marvel. More specifically, a buyout of the Marvel brand, putting it under the kingdom of Disney's massive company, with the Disney company reportedly buying the Marvel brand for a whopping $4 billion. And you might very well be asking, what could possibly be Disney's reasoning for buying this massive brand of fictional superheroes and IPs associated with it? Well, it would be just that reasoning, because with the Disney company buying out the Marvel brand, they would in turn be able to restart the massive but somewhat dormant brand to in turn, but unsurprisingly, make billions of dollars off of their newly purchased IP, and that very scenario would occur with it reported that the Disney company had made more than 3 times the profit at $18.2 billion than what they had originally bought the Marvel company for in that same year alone in 2009. And from there, things were seemingly doing great for both the Disney and Marvel companies due to the resurgence in the movies, TV shows, and toys of the Marvel brand brought back to life by Disney. However, with this purchase and re-rise of the Marvel brand would prove to have a darker side to it, more specifically in the rise and heyday of Elsagate. You see, with Marvel often being more focused towards a younger audience of the child demographic, these characters would prove to be used in a lot of Elsagate content online that could be created due to the massive Marvel media that was being released all throughout the 2010s. And with arguably the most popular character in all of Marvel, Spider-Man, was shown to be the second most prominent and notable character in the early to mid-2010s of the Elsagate scandal, often being shown side and side with Elsa from Frozen, and really proving to be the most effective duo/couple/enemies in the entirety of the early days surrounding Elsagate. But nevertheless, it's extremely strange on how we see these Marvel characters be abused, hurt, and even killed, especially Spider-Man. But with this all more than likely, at the very least, indirectly, being accredited due to the purchase of Marvel from the Disney brand happening a year before, in 2009, really makes you wonder what that purchase of Marvel had to do with the overall impact of Elsagate. Going to the year 2010, more specifically to April 22nd of 2010, when the Fun Video TV YouTube channel was created. If you have been on the internet since the early days of YouTube, I'm sure you very well recognize this channel, with the channel's vast, odd, and downright weird content. Back in the early days, the Fun Video TV channel was a truly iconic anomaly on the YouTube platform. But other than the odd thumbnails and videos for that matter, what does this almost nostalgically weird YouTube channel have to do with Elsagate? Well, for that, we're going to have to take a trip down the history of Fun Video TV. You see, back in the early 2010s of YouTube, it is obviously way more different compared to 2024 YouTube. But if there's something that really united the online platform as far back as you can really remember, it's the idea of creepiness. From the old tales of creepy videos that if you watched, you would get, let's say, cursed, to the more liminal horror that we often see in the modern day of the internet. The Fun Videos TV channel was really able to captivate an audience out of these disturbing ideals alone, just in a more animated form that was very unheard of for the time. My point is, I think it's very clear that the Fun Video TV channel was really the first Elsagate-ish channel to use odd, wacky, and crazy animations to captivate such a young audience for the time. And with the clearly animated thumbnails and video content, such as the prominent mention of the Marvel characters in these videos, I think it's clear that the Fun Video TV YouTube channel was the first kids channel to really implement this weird but effective way of drawing kids' attention with showing wacky thumbnails and animations. But with the channel not uploading in almost 5 years since 2019, this really makes us wonder what did happen to the Fun Video TV channel. Well, for that, I would really recommend watching T3RRORS's video on Fun Video TV that really gives you an in-depth review on the channel for that matter. But what's most important to know that at the beginning of the year in January of 2020, the COPPA Act, or Children's Online Piracy Protection Act, was placed in effect on the YouTube platform, where it would in turn left a real big problem for the Fun Video TV YouTube channel due to its clearly not 100% made for kids content that the channel has to it that would not pass on YouTube today. And to keep the Fun Video TV channel more than likely monetized with the notable amount of views it still rakes in a month would be a smart way to still make money without violating the COPPA Act. Back in the early days of the internet, kids games were, I'm sure you, me, and basically everyone were some of the most funnest and unforgettable things about the internet, with the culturally beloved website of Cool Math Games to the lesser known but personal favorite kids game website of Kaizai. Point is, kids games for I'm sure everyone watching were some of the most funnest and years later nostalgic things on the web. But of course, with this video on the Elsagate scandal, things weren't so simple with these fondly but innocently remembered online kids games. You see, much like a lot of things having to do with Elsagate, back in the early 2010s, with a major amount of princess movies being released during this time frame, alongside the slow but invisible rise of Elsagate, would prove to be an extremely prominent and deeply disturbing, because, as seemingly in the wake of Elsagate, it was revealed that online, quote-unquote, kids games were discovered to be showing very disgusting and shocking results, more than likely as a way to draw in a younger audience, with the Girls Go Games website seemingly being the worst offender in these online Elsagate games, with it primarily just due to the fact that even in 2024, this online website still shows these deeply disturbing kids games. But even then, these disturbing Elsagate kids games riddled the online platform for the longest of time, really without anyone knowing. But during the summer of 2016, seemingly when the whole Elsagate scandal was slowly being unraveled, YouTuber Some Ordinary Gamers would post a 2-part episode miniseries on the disturbingness of these kids games online, pointing out how truly sick and shocking these games were, and even for him as an adult, would prove to be a lot for even Mutahar. And keep in mind, this was around months to a year before the Elsagate scandal had been named. So imagine if you were a kid and had stumbled upon these disturbing kids games websites. I'll let you imagine how that could go, but I think we can all agree that it wouldn't be good. And just overall, the kids games of Elsagate stand to be a really disturbing and noteworthy time, and just the overall rise of Elsagate, that even in the modern day of Elsagate, in some way, shape, or form, has still been able to adapt and live on. Being released on the day of November 27th of 2013, Disney's Frozen was considered arguably the greatest movie of the 2010s, and with just an overall gross net revenue of almost $1.5 billion, I definitely say the numbers speak for itself. But it goes without saying that the Frozen movie was definitely a cultural success all across the world. But our particular character in the Frozen movie who gained basically overnight popularity, who so happened to be the main character, Elsa, a Disney princess character that really took the stereotypical Disney princess narrative and turned it right upside down just due to her more strong woman attitude that she had to her, and would really resonate with a younger audience. But unfortunately, come the era of Elsagate, her unbridled popularity would have a dark side to it, in the wake of so much disturbing and gross children's content, especially regarding the iconic Disney character. Elsagate was given the name of just this overwhelming amount of disturbingness of quote-unquote children's content, in turn being the figurehead of this truly crazy and arguably still ongoing time in internet history, named after the iconic Disney character, being Elsagate. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the disturbing origins of Elsagate and looking over the history of this extremely crazy time that is arguably still going on today. But I think it's always good to take a look back on the history of certain internet events and really take a look at the origins of something, especially as crazy as Elsagate. With that, I've been Skipper's son, and I hope y'all have a great day.